I don't really know. I'm going to leave the interview now. I kind of only came on here because I thought it would be kind of funny. But I want to say you're
And saving women, all of them, with the Queen of Mean, Anne Robinson. She's here live. Good evening, Anne.
I can't hear anything.
You know what? Save it for the interview.
Like, I should just take Tyson Fury and tweet, "Last dance?" ?
Well, being a liberal used to mean believing in free speech, tolerance and respect for those with different opinions. But today's woke version of liberals seems hell-bent on behaving like the fascists they claim to hate. Don't take my word for it. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, one of the most famous free speech advocates in the world right now, says he can no longer vote for the Democrats he's voted for his entire life.
And I would classify myself as a moderate, and neither Republican nor Democrat. And in fact, I have voted overwhelmingly for Democrats historically, overwhelmingly. Like I'm not sure. I might never have voted for a Republican, just to be clear.
Right.
Now this election, I will.
Well, Musk later took to Twitter, the platform he's trying to buy, of course, to help restore free speech. And he said the Democrats have become, his words, the party of division and hate, and that he now expects political attacks on him to escalate. Well, he was completely right. He was bombarded with abuse from the moment he tweeted what he said about the Democrats. And this afternoon, he said, judging by the relentless hate stream from the far left, this tweet was spot on. It was, and so is Elon Musk. The very people who claim to be the good guys, often with their ironic "be kind" hashtags on their profiles, are the same people leading this vicious opinion purge. They just can't accept that people with different views have any right to say them. They use abuse, mob rule and bullying to silence and shame opponents or even hound them out of their jobs. This is not liberalism. It's authoritarianism. Defending free speech has been sacrificed at the woke altar of defending an increasingly ridiculous and often imaginary group of gender minorities, as well as fellow wokies, of course. Try asking a regular voter on the doorstep in Britain, in America, in Australia, what their pronouns are. They won't know what the hell you're talking about. Mine, for the record, are me, myself and I. Sadly, Liberals have shifted their hearts from factories to faculties. Issues-based is now plant-based. Partisan is now artisan. It's supposed to be all politics is local, not locally sourced. The Democratic Party should be the natural home of a genius innovator who believes passionately in his country, in ideas and in free speech. The fact it's not is another symptom of what Musk calls the woke virus. Please, somebody, for the love of God, develop a vaccine against this before we all get infected.
Is that possible? I don't see why not.
Well, I do think Martina Navratilova said, you know, that the number 300 male tennis player, if he wanted to transition either legitimately or to cheat, could do so without having any surgery and would just reduce their testosterone level but not their physical body mass and become the greatest tennis player in history on the women's side, and then 3 years later go back to...
Are you interviewing me or am I interviewing you? Because you're doing all the talking. Okay, can I just... No, let me say something.
Say something.
Right, honestly. I've only got 15 minutes.
Come on.
The amount of trans who actually have surgery is minuscule.
Yeah.
So actually, I don't know about this trans in this particular case, but it's so easy. I could suddenly decide to be a male athlete.
When you see politicians who can't answer what is a woman,
A,
what do you feel about that? What is the answer?
The answer is a woman is someone with a vagina. Do you need me to say that again? It is somebody with a vagina. And I can now be cancelled.
Professional footballers are among the most lavishly paid athletes in the world. Top players can earn millions every month for kicking a ball around, which obviously sounds ridiculous in an economic crisis, but their salaries are driven by market force. They get paid a lot of money because they're the best at what they do, and they make a lot of money for their teams. And the same simple economic calculation should apply to men and women. That's why I'm in total agreement today with the groundbreaking decision by the US Soccer Federation, not with their decision to call themselves Soccer Federation, it's football, but their decision to pay its women team the same amount it pays the men. US women have fought hard for equal pay for years, and here's their victorious captain today.
I am feeling extreme pride, and to be able to say finally equal pay for equal work feels very, very good.
Well, she should. She's earned it. They all have. The US women's football team is a ruthless winning machine. Skilled, strong, resilient champions. They've won 4 World Cups, 4 Olympic golds. Compare that with the US men's team, which has won absolutely nothing and is about as entertaining to watch as a Meghan Markle podcast. It's not realistic right now for all female sports teams or individual sports women to earn the same as male counterparts. It depends on the sport, the level of success, their star power, and particularly on revenue streams from crowds and television. But in this case, it's a no-brainer. The US women's team may be very smug and annoying, but honestly, they've got every right to be. They're more successful than the US men's team by far. They get bigger crowds, just as many sponsors, and actually much bigger stars. If anything, they should be paid more than the men.
This is the other question. You know, people forget that Hollywood is a business. So, for example, when Scarlett Johansson was stopped from playing a trans role, there simply wasn't a trans actress at that point big enough to sustain a $50–60 million movie. I found that was a mistake of the trans community because there were probably lots of other trans roles in the film that would have been played by trans actresses, and Scarlett Johansson wasn't going to be doing some portrait that was anti-trans. So I felt it was slightly blinkered attitude.
They are legitimate areas of concern. You can't just call everyone who disagrees with you transphobic.
Shut up, please.
If you keep swearing, I'll have to cut you off.
You can go and have a look at their websites. You can have a look at their Twitters. Like, they are transphobic.
But I am
Kelly
talking
J.
to you.
Keane was kicked out of.
I just said to you, all right, if you're going
out of Women's Place UK for being
if
too
you don't want to have a
racist,
civilized conversation with
good
me,
people.
okay, look, I'm trying to give you a chance. I've explained my position. What is your problem with my position?
I don't really know. I'm going to leave the interview now. I kind of only came on here because I thought it would be kind of funny. But I want to say you're a and you're a fascist.
All right. Well, I apologise again to all viewers who are listening to that. Unfortunately, a complete idiot. Are you prepared, if it comes to it, to lose your life, to fight for your country?
I asked myself this question when Russian forces were in outskirts of the city. And if I wouldn't be ready for it, I would have left. The city of Kyiv, with almost 5 million people like a sponge, it's a big city and busy city, was empty. You could hear the explosions, constant explosions, because the fights were going on in the outskirts of the city. And you must count with anything while you're in Kyiv or in Ukraine, with anything, even now. And this question is basically everyone in Ukraine, Ukrainian or not, and as you know, there are journalists, your colleagues, journalists, been killed precisely with sniper shots and lost their lives. If you're in Ukraine, you must know that that could be your last moment in life, last trip in life. And are you ready to give up anything you have for the country and freedom? And that's the question that millions of Ukrainians asking. And the answer is yes, because you could do anything for your children, anything for your country, anything for your parents, anything that you love. And that's something that just cannot be in a different way.